You know, no problem, no story. A businessman looks at a problem, an entrepreneur looks at a problem and says, how can I resolve this in a win-win way? So story structure and business structure, if you look at it as a formula, are very similar. Now, if I were to use this and create, look at, you know, what could be an elevator pitch framework or a technique which I can use to tell the story of my product in a very quick way, in a very, very quick way. And that's what I would like to get into. So, you know, in the next 10 minutes, what I'm going to work, share with you is a technique using which we can build an elevator pitch in very quick terms of whatever product we are building. And it works for products, it works for services, it works for ideas, it works as a framework, as a technique, it works for anything. And the technique or framework is actually nothing but it's just a few words. And those words are there already up on the screen. All you need to do is fill in the blanks. Imagine a world where dash, 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 and describe the world that you're building. The other way to work with this framework is to use a different set of words and say this for me. And when I say me, for my company, Xiaomi Electronics, for my company, Maya Innovation Center, or whatever it is, right? For my company, the world would be a better place if, and dash, 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 fill in the blanks. The world would be a better place if, and then describe what kind of a world you are building at contrast with the world that exists today. And that's your elevator pitch. If I give that framework to you as I have just given it to you, will you be able to construct elevator pitches for the products that you're working on? Let's give it a shot. Let's do or do you want to see some examples? You want to see some examples? All right. Let me share an example with you of a story that is not a good story, but it tells it beautifully, right? We have to look at examples of what are good stories and what are not good stories. So let me share an example of a story that we are all familiar with. It's from the telecom space, and the story is very simple. You know, the problems in the telecom space, the conflict in the telecom space, we are still very familiar with because those problems haven't gone away. The problem in the telecom sector is that the moment you get into an elevator, call drops. The moment you get into the basement, call drops. If you're in a city, fine, but if you're traveling on the highway between two cities, the call drops. So here's a way of imagining a solution and describing a solution to a product or a technology that perhaps you may be building. For me, my company, Hutch, the world would be a better place if my network could follow you wherever you go, right? And a way of bringing that alive is what you have here. Oops, that was too loud. Oh, it's a very simple way of describing something, you know, in a very powerful way as well, because it paints a very good picture of the world that you are trying to build. Why did I call it not a good story? The reason I didn't call it a good story is because it's exaggeration, it's claim, it's advertising. It's not story, because to me story is truth well told. A story has to come from authenticity, and a story cannot be a promise that you cannot deliver upon. If you can't deliver on that promise, then it's just an exaggeration, it's just a claim. And that's why, you know, to me all advertising is not good storytelling. Some of it is just claims. And if you know, sometimes the fastest way of making your customer angry is to tell a story like this, which is exactly what Airtel did. You know, Airtel, when it did the 4G launch communication, and it showed that girl, which was made famous by all Airtel communication, you know, on the mountains, in the hills, at a lake in Ladakh, you know, having clear signals and 4G data being downloaded on a phone. People wrote back to and complained, and, you know, they trolled on social media Airtel and said, you know, boss, udhar hi milta hai Ladakh mein 4G, because, you know, in Bangalore at Martha Halli, I'm not getting 4G. And then, you know, as a response to this strong pushback, they had to eat their own words, and they had to sort of roll out open network, which was a response to this lashing from the customers that they got. So to me, good storytelling is fairly simple. I'm not a big fan of definitions. I never was in schools as well. But a simple definition for good storytelling is truth. Stories must come from authenticity. But truth, as we saw in the story with a blind man, just truth alone doesn't work. It needs to be told beautifully. It needs to be articulated in a way that connects with people's hearts, describes the situation, transports them, and, you know, shows them the world, an ideal world that can be. And when you do that, then that's well told. That's articulation, that's contrast, that's visualization, that's data turned into stories, that's complex product simplified in terms of its articulation, right? And that's why you need language to describe, you know, complex technology in simple ways. But this framework sort of, you know, works for all kinds of products and services.